Hello and welcome to the Paddock podcast. I'm here on a strange camera angle. Look, just me and Stephen for now. But look, there's more guests. Oh! We've got me, Stephen, we've got Andy Tate from Full Time Devils, and of course Ciaran from here in Stretford. Paddock, how's everyone doing? That sums it up, I think, doesn't it? We're going to talk a little bit about Woodward Glazer's the Burnley game, all that fun stuff. We'll get to some maybe more exciting, more interesting topics. Well, maybe not more interesting, but certainly slightly happier topics later on. Maybe
get your questions in, because we are going to be monitoring the questions live. So
it's What do you think to last night? What are your thoughts on last night? And we'll go with you first.
The team that was put out should have done the job, but it didn't. I'm not going to say that word, but I'm still going to back him. But he needs to start just looking at his tactics on the formation, and this team is on its knees now, and I just don't know what to think. Yeah,
it's hard to know where we go in it. There's so many problems, there's so many things wrong. The team's crap. The way it's been ran is poor as well. Obviously, we'll get into that more, but it does feel like some kind of sort of rock bottom at the minute, doesn't it?
Oh, it does, yeah. And there's potential banana skins on the horizon in the next two cup games
Wolves
as well.
And City as well, like I said, another banana skin. Even though we already feel like we're out of that cup, probably
it could
another battering wouldn't.
We're getting fucking pumped, aren't we, next week?
Yeah, it could be made a scapegoat.
Yeah,
it's going to be sponsored by Brazzers.
Yeah, it's going to be bad. What do you think for the City game? Huh? What do you think for the City game?
That's all I can. Look, it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better.
Do you think? How much worse can it get?
I
suppose we could be 7th or 8th. I know.
We are 5th. I mean, I don't know how, but we are.
We're all saying, sorry, before we went on the Full Time Devils podcast, we were saying it could get a lot worse. Liverpool could very easily go on and win the treble this year. Can you imagine? I didn't want to bring it up.
That's a nightmare scenario. Only comprehended this morning.
I asked about this the other day in the office, and for some reason, everyone said, "No, Liverpool got knocked out of the FA Cup," and I was like, "Great." Didn't look into it, and then today, me and Stu were doing a video. They've got Shrewsbury at the weekend, so they could still get a treble, because I was worried about it as well, and I was lied to. So now I feel worse again about that.
They're not going to do a treble, are they? Because they've also got the fucking Super Cup and the World Club Cup, so they're doing a fucking quintuple.
Oh, they could do that though. They really could. Everyone else.
Would you chase someone? Would you chase someone else in the final?
Yeah.
I know, but
I don't care.
City Liverpool final.
I'd want City to win.
Oh God, no, I'd have an emigrate.
I don't think there's any
North
other
Central
option,
Island. They're going to kill us all on site. That's what we want.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just worried about it. Like I said, we've got Wolves as well coming up again soon, and again Watford or Tranmere at the weekend. Still don't know who we're playing. The game's like 4 days away. That's mental, isn't it?
There's no easy games, even against the crap teams. There's no easy games.
We've seen yesterday.
Yeah.
Home to Burnley, don't get much easier.
Are we going to talk about yesterday? Are we going to delve into
I don't know what there is to talk about other than look how shit.
Do you know what? Can I just say, Jay Rodriguez's finish was fucking belting.
Banger, wasn't it?
I applauded it.
Amazing.
Did you?
I applauded it. You got it because it's only decent bit of action. It was there, wasn't it?
I was still trying to figure out what the fuck happened. I was like,
did that go in?
How the fuck? Because I see De Gea go over to his goal. It looks like from where we are in the Stretford end above him, there's like the roof of the net is kind of in the way for where we are, and it's kind of like looked like he had it covered, and he didn't really make much of a leap for it, and you kind of like you just see the ball sort of spin along the back of the net, and you're like, the fuck has that got in?
Yeah.
And then I watched the replay of it today. You're like, I've seen the joint. It's a fucking right banger of a goal.
Yeah, it was amazing. And I saw Jay on Twitter from Full Time Devils saying that he thought De Gea could have done better with it. I think it was you're asking a lot of him to get to that. It was right in the top corner.
It was a 1 in a million kind of strike.
Underside.
You get like it's like Bernardo's against us in the League Cup. Yeah, you ain't stopping that. No. Even I applauded that because it was a great goal.
Yeah, it's sometimes you're not doing anything about it. The first goal was poor. Matic kind of got doubled up on, didn't he, for the ball into the box from the set piece, and then Maguire didn't track his man properly. Just exactly what we were expecting, wasn't it? Chris Ward set piece. And that's what they did. Like the one way they could score, other than an absolute banger like Rodriguez, is what they did.
Ashwin in the comments, we are going to be the next AC Milan. Give us a like if you're watching along with us and live. That's a really interesting point in it. I mean, we saw Liverpool in the 90s and the 2000s absolutely fall off to pieces. It's been a long, long way back for them. Who else do you think has major what other dominant force like an AC Milan has there been what have just fell off?
You could use Leeds.
Oh, Leeds, yeah, but they've never really dominated the way we did. Yeah.
No, but they were a force in English football from '74. They declined from the 60s up till '74. They declined, and they're like 89.
And they never dominated like we and
yeah,
Milan
but they
did.
came back up and they were a force again for a couple of seasons. And then they were established Premier League. And look at them now.
Yeah, in a strange way. I mean, this is going to sound just stupid because Madrid won fucking 4 Champions Leagues out of 5, but I think they've only won La Liga twice in the last 12 or 13 years.
Yeah, it's been a mad drought. Yeah,
they've, in terms of domestically, Real Madrid aren't the force they once were. Again,
yeah, they had a dip in the 90s. They had a dip in the 90s, La Liga,
they're still
and all.
finishing in the top 2.
Yeah, of course, but I mean, if
Spain.
you're just trying to look at teams that aren't doing as well as you'd expect,
Yeah.
But again, it's not a bad way of covering it up, is it? Winning 4 Champions Leagues, in
they
5
did well
years,
there, didn't they?
But
13 fucking Champions Leagues, man.
that's mental, isn't it?
It's only 10
To be
more.
fair,
It's a bit
5 of them don't count. They won the first 5. Like, write them off. That don't count. You were
I'd
playing
count
by
it if we
yourself.
won it in the 50s and
Nah,
retained it.
I won't.
Imagine
Of course I
winning
would.
Champions
I think
League
it's
like
easy
you
to
win
say
League
you wouldn't when
Cups.
you didn't.
Like you just get
13.
boring, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Just whatever.
That's how many
Champions
FA
League.
Cups Arsenal have won, and it don't feel like.
Yeah, it's whatever.
Who's the most
But
successful?
The FA Cup was in
who-
the 1900s and the Champions League was only coming in the mid-50s.
50s,
Who's
yeah.
the most successful club in the world? I mean, I'm talking with all trophies from any country.
I think it's one of the Argentinian.
Yeah, I was going to say something
But
like
if
Boca
you-
Juniors or River Plate.
If you're sort of
something like
comparing trophies won to like difficulty of league and of tournament, is probably Real Madrid.
that. Yeah,
Like, because Boca Juniors have maybe won 60 league titles or something, but the Champions League is the hardest trophy in the world to win.
I think, do you know what? I actually think it's like Olympiacos or something in
Yeah.
terms of
Well,
like.
we looked, didn't we,
How
in
much,
terms of,
we was having a look which leagues are the
duopoly.
biggest duopolies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, is it Scotland? And it actually isn't Scotland.
what
which-
Olympiacos and
I can't remember off the top of my head.
Scotland
where
was
it
near the top, though,
It was
wasn't
near the top, but it wasn't number
Because
one.
like 2 teams winning all the titles.
Celtic.
Yeah, like what
Rangers,
percentage of the Scottish titles
Yeah.
of Rangers and Celtic won? It's a high percentage, but it wasn't the
Number one.
worst in
The top
terms of
one.
like. Yeah, I can't remember. which
I'd say
one it was.
maybe Argentina would be up there for me. River or Boca Juniors.
It was something else, wasn't it? But it was they were up there. Most successful club in the world. There we go.
It definitely isn't us. I can say that much.
No,
Nope.
unfortunately not. We're not. I bet we're somewhere up there. This is like top 30 though, isn't it?
Yeah, so let's see what this is saying here for the top 30.
Right, here we go.
Oh, it's gone from 30 down. Let's United are 12th on this list apparently.
With 71 trophies.
Yeah.
Who's number 1?
Number
Just saw
1.
Olympiacos there at 9.
Yeah.
So
Barca at 6.
Celtic are 5th. Rangers are 2nd.
Wow.
It keeps loading. Al Ali.
In Egypt.
Al Ahly in
Egypt.
Egypt. Ah, come
Most
on.
decorated club in
At
the
least it's
world.
not the Scousers.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, 118 trophies, which is nearly double what we've got.
Who's
Wowzers.
And then Rangers.
Rangers are second. Club Nacional in Uruguay.
Wow.
113 trophies.
Peñarol.
Peñarol. That was it. It was Peñarol and Nacional.
Yeah, because they said something like, and Peñarol have won like 70% of them.
46 times. 46. Can you imagine singing that? Wowzers. And
50.
And they've won 50. Yeah, so 46 and 50 are their championships between the two of them. That's a bit different to 18 and 20, isn't it?
Yeah, hell of a
They must have a really good board hierarchy.
It must just be boring, that. Because that's just literally coin toss.
Well, who's the third biggest team in Uruguay?
I don't know.
I can only name the 2.
Yeah.
Can't name any.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nacional and Peñarol.
Who's fifth then?
Celtic.
Barcelona 6, Real Madrid 7, Benfica 9, tied with Olympiacos
You'd
for some
take,
reason. Why are they both on 9? Because one's on 82, one's on 75. That's not a tie. That's really bad maths. 10 Porto, Al Faisali in Jordan, and then United, and then Ajax. How have we been more dominant than Ajax? Mad that.
The last 25 years, probably.
And then Bayern Munich. How are they not further up that list? And then Juventus, then Galatasaray, and the
See, it's
likes
surprising
of-
almost that Juventus are the biggest in Italy now.
Yeah.
AC Milan there with, what is it, 15 less
48,
trophies than
they're
Juve.
25th. Not even as dominant as Grasshopper of Zurich.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think you would take Real Madrid though. I think even over Barca's. I know they've won like one more trophy, but those 13 Champions Leagues is
Belting,
just ludicrous. isn't it?
belting, absolutely belting. Even if the first 5 were like 8-team tournaments.
Di
like,
Stefano just banging 20 goals a season.
And Puskas just fucking rassing it up. I know that they offered us those 2 players after Munich, but it was like it wasn't an offer because we could never have taken them. The league rules, I think it was 1978 when you was allowed non-British Isles players. What a rule, by the way. It's alien to those of us. I mean, I started watching, Andy's a bit older than me, but I started watching in 1990, so it was still very much a British league. I can't even think.
I remember United 84, they played Tottenham on a Friday night. I was on Match of the Day. First, Ozzy Ardiles.
Yeah. He was the first foreign player in the league.
Steve Archibald. I think he was. I don't know if he was it. Belgium or something maybe. But I remember
that
Ozzy
does not
Ardiles.
sound like a foreign name.
I was going to say Steve Archibald.
You said where's he from? And I've been like,
do you remember those cricketers from like the 1800s, and they're all called stuff like Steve Archibald and that, aren't they? Yeah.
But Ozzy Ardiles was the first one I remember. Then
he was the first one.
Yeah, then Maradona. Like you say, you're picking up the names as you're getting up. You're liking football. And like I say, I just do Brian Robson, Gordon McQueen, Frank Stapleton. I call him Staple Gun when I was a kid.
But the rules of the English Football League was British Isles born only. So that's why you saw a lot of Scots and a lot of Irish playing in the English league. But after Munich, supposedly, Real Madrid offered us Puskas for free and Di Stefano for free on loan to try and help us rebuild, but we could never have took them because the league rules prevented it.
That sounds like the most un-Real Madrid thing to do, to offer your
but
2 greatest players of all time.
In the circumstances at the time, they could have made an exception.
Yeah.
They didn't?
No, but...
And we had to go to
was that why we
Auckland?
didn't accept them? Because we weren't allowed to, or...
Yeah.
Is that why?
Yeah. I mean, you'd have to go and try and speak to someone. I think that'd be a really interesting project, actually. In fact, I've been...
The greatest transfer that ever happened.
Me and Cameron was talking yesterday about what you're going to do for Munich this year, and I was like, nothing. What can I do? I can't top that documentary me and my granddad did.
No.
So why bother? We've been talking, haven't we, about what Paddock are going to do to commemorate Munich, because it's the first time the channel's actually been around for a Munich thingy, and I think it's such an important thing in our club. Maybe I should look into that. Maybe I should try and drill down into the Puskas and Di Stefano, how they nearly played for Manchester United, and how close did it actually come. So maybe that's worth doing. I got 3 weeks or something like that.
That'd be a good project. I like that.
2 weeks even. So yeah, I think that might be worth going looking into. But it'd been really interesting if it had been open at the time. If we would have been able to sign Puskas, what, Hungarian is it?
Yeah. So
obviously the rules in Spain wouldn't know, and Di Stefano's Argentinian.
Yeah.
So Real Madrid
obviously allowed that,
yeah. So there was obviously something that was. I mean, I think the Italian teams we was coming up against in the Champions League at the time, or European Cup, they were like 100%. Italian, and obviously the Lisbon Lions, the Celtic team was 67. All born within like fucking pissing distance.
Some English players when Dennis Law went to AC Milan before.
Torino.
Was that after Torino? Was that before he came to United?
That was before he came to United.
We signed him.
Was that late 60s, wasn't it? Or early
60s.
Early 60s.
62 or something.
So players could go over there, but no foreign players could come over here, which is a bit bizarre in itself. Where Jimmy Greaves, he left. I think did he go Juventus?
There was a few. Is it Gary Charles?
Yeah, he went to Torino with Dennis Law. He was Welsh, wasn't he? Jack Charles or something like that. Something
Charles. Yeah.
So yeah, he went to Torino with Dennis Law as well. I remember.
Yeah, because I think there's quotes from Jimmy Murphy. Obviously, Matt Busby's assistant, who was the Wales manager, wasn't he? And one of the lines from him was like, "Who do you think you are?" Gary Charles. He always used to compare people to him, and one of the things was he's better than Gary Charles. Was what he said about Duncan Edwards, or he's going to be better than Gary Charles. So that's when everyone was like, "Fucking, I must be good." He didn't shut up about him
because he always referred everyone to him, and he's actually better than him.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, it was an interesting. There's a lot of interesting things surrounding. The circumstances of everything that happened at Munich, including the fact that the league was like, you have to be in the country 48 hours before your fixture. Where the fuck's that in any sort of rule book? Because I can't imagine the situation ever arose, so it feels like they probably brought that in.
Yeah, I've never seen that in the 80s when United were in Europe. You remember United playing Dundee United in the Winners' Cup in the mid-80s.
John Charles says Benny Wells.
There's no point being in Scotland 48 hours before a game when you could just fly up on the day.
Yeah, well, it doesn't make any sense, does it? It's like your mum looking at, where are you? What time are you coming back? Like, It don't matter. We'll be there for the game. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I don't quite understand that.
Yeah, so I mean that was one of the reasons why instead of like maybe spending a bit more time and clearing the ice off the wings and stuff on the plane, they were all in a bit of a panic to get back. And who knows what would have happened after that. I mean, it's fascinating to think that everybody involved in that didn't just go, I'm never playing football again, mate. The likes of Bobby Charlton surviving that and then going on to have the career he had as a footballer, both with England and with United, is fucking mind-boggling. You think of the PTSD some people get because they get fucking called a knob on Twitter, and then to have some real life shit like that where you've lost your best friends in a horrific plane crash. And then to just, I mean, like Bill Folkes and Harry Gregg, they played like 10 days after being in a fucking plane crash.
That shouldn't have been allowed to be fair.
What the fuck?
No. We did this really interesting thing at like a uni 2 years ago. Basically, it was like after like when all lectures were done, they had this talk, and basically it was the 50th anniversary of Munich or something like that, and they basically had compiled loads of data to see, had that plane crash not happened, like how many caps and how many, like down to the T, how well that team would have done. And I think it was Duncan Edwards would have ended up with something like 100 England caps or something insane like that, and how well the team would have done. They even went as far as to say, you know, because it happened. I read like how it would have impacted the England World Cup team as well, and
would
stuff
have won
like
Player of the Year.
Yeah,
as well.
something.
But he was second in Ballon d'Or as a 20-year-old defender.
Yeah.
That's unheard of.
Yeah,
It's unheard of. And he was second in that the year before he died. You know, and the year he died, he'd moved into left half from being like defence and was running shit. You know, he was
left half, like
shit.
left wing back kind of.
No, it's more of like a left-sided number 6.
Okay.
So they used to play a back 3, but it was one centre half, and he would literally go head to head with the number 9 from the other team, and then they'd have a full-back either side of him, but then you would have a right half and a left half, which was like 2 number 6s that would sit sort of in the gaps either side of a centre half. Yeah. So think of like a back 4 with a sweeper almost, because they drop back, but they would also, like Harry Maguire steps out with the ball, it would step out and play make from that number 6 kind of position, and then the attack was mirrored. So you'd have your number 9, obviously opposite the centre half, your 2 wingers, and they'd be going up against the 2 full-backs, and then your 2 inside forwards would be going up against the 2 half-backs. So it was like very fair almost, because you just like, when 4-4-2 was up against 4-4-2, the WM was up against the WM, and no one was ever like, well, fuck that, I'm going to put number 10 in there, deal with that. Yeah. And that's when formations started to evolve, when people did start to go, I'm going to go 3-4-3.
Yeah, you look at the formations back in the day, they're like 1-2-3-1 or something, I don't know, something mad like that.
And the way, if you watch old footage as well, the amount of like, you can just tell it's a completely different game. The speed of it, the quality of it, even at the top level. It's just so
in
different.
the old days, like, with systems, like, I'm sure Matt Busby had the systems in the 60s. Even Don Revie had his own systems and started working. He knew how to play football. Shankly had his own systems. And like you say, football has evolved so far, so much now with technology as well. The old blackboard don't work anymore.
No, it's mental, isn't it?
Peter says it was a 2-3-5. No, it wasn't 2-3-5. It was the WM, which is like 3-2-2-3 technically. The 2-3-5 was the formation that was like you play football, you play 2-3-5,
right?
Which is very reminiscent of what like 4-3-3 looks like now.
Yeah,
really.
Right.
2 centre halves, 3 midfielders, and then your fullbacks and your forward 3 being the 5.
Yeah.
A lot of people play 2-3-5, but not United, and not most teams actually when they was playing that WM sort of formation. Sorry if that sounded really weird then to everyone. We got a super chat here from Zachary. The Glazers own Buccaneers. They treat them the same way they do United. Constantly have the most free money they're allowed to spend, and they do not spend it so that they can keep it.
I've seen that comparison made a lot. Obviously, I don't. Anyone out there who follows the NFL, I don't really follow. I know the Buccaneers, I think, won the Super Bowl 15 years ago, but I've seen a lot of people in the comments make comparisons to us, because us and the Buccaneers, because obviously they're owned by the Glazers as well. Yeah. So it'd actually be interesting.
Have you seen a stadium? Is it once I heard they actually brought a pirate ship in?
Yeah,
a pirate ship in
right.
and firing off stuff when they get a touchdown.
That's about American.
I mean, I don't know if it's still there, but
I'd imagine so. They love that stuff.
I mean, I seen stuff on how they refinance the stadium out for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and it was interesting. It's on YouTube. And it's like it may be legal, but it still sounds.
I don't think
still
rolling up
sounds
so dodgy,
dodgy. Dodgy.
Rolling a pirate ship into Old Trafford probably wouldn't be the best thing.
funny
I
though.
can't imagine that
People
new brand
just-
deal with pirates.
The amount
rum.
of pints of Carl
Howson with
Heineken that just fly
one
out.
patch on. Yeah,
The Captain Morris
Yeah.
on and stuff. You can
Captain
see.
Howson. Oh yeah.
That would be funny.
I'd like to be a pirate.
Also, do you know, right, so the money that the Glazers save by not spending or whatever, does that go to them, or aren't they just sort of trading and spending based on the value of their assets, which is the club?
And
They're paying themselves a decent.
They've got a lot of
Yeah.
they've got a lot of money in the malls as well over there.
So someone messaged us before said they owe 1.8 billion in debt.
Yeah, and the malls are like failing. You know what I mean? So basically, we're funding the American shopping trade.
Do you know what? What's three of the most absolutely lucrative fucking businesses in the world, apart from importing and exporting heroin, right?
Oil.
Okay, not that one. Retail, right? How many malls do you know? How many Trafford centres do you know that just are empty? Not many, I'm going to say.
One in Florida, but yeah, other than that.
But it's a pretty lucrative thing, isn't it?
they do
Basically, you
alright.
build a building and then people pay you a
Build
fuck
it,
ton
they
of
will
money.
come.
Yeah, to sit in there. Sound.
Oh, let's target.
NFL. That seems to make a shitload of cash. Fucking Premier League football. These are three businesses that are absolutely swimming in cash, and you owe three of them, and between the three of them, all of them are failing, and you owe 1.8 billion between the fucking three of them.
I bet they don't want to owe less than that. Like, I'm sure that I think their model it clearly isn't let's try and pay off this debt.
No,
it's let's refinance this debt. Let's make sure that the assets grow by themselves, and you know all of that debt gets cleared as soon as they sell United.
Yeah, but they're not growing.
Well, yeah,
Nothing-
because
nothing's growing.
someone's gonna come in, and this is it. Like it's famine thinking almost, thinking that someone will pay this. Rather than saying what's the best product we could make, and someone will come in and buy it for 10 billion.
Yeah.
We'll go. What's the least amount of effort? Like you said earlier, it's like what's the least amount of effort we can get away with doing, and someone will eventually come and fucking buy it off us anyway.
And
The terrifying thing is that you'll remember. I think all of us should remember it actually. When Leeds United went tits up, just prior to when the Glazers came in, they went tits up on the promise of some gate receipts for being in the Champions League and some TV money from the ITV Carlton deal, which hadn't actually
ITV
landed
Digital.
Yet. Yeah. And then ITV Digital, ITV Carlton went tits up. That money didn't come. They had to the club folded. It went into administration.
Yeah, Leeds missed out on Champions League at the same time.
Yeah.
They finished fifth. So
That was why. That was another reason why. Because they missed out on the Champions League, they didn't get that gate revenue, they didn't get that TV deal. Boom. Now, when the Glazers took over in 2005, I think the TV money was somewhere in the region of like 300 million for the league. So it was like 30 million a season for each individual football team. Now it's in the hundreds of millions. It's 5-6 billion, and it doesn't seem to be going down. There's got to be some sort of a bubble there because that can't continue.
the bubble will burst. The gravy
Streaming
train.
services and all that will start to take precedent over.
Oh yeah.
TV
Basically, we'll be
stations.
surprised eventually there'll be no match of the day on a Saturday night. There'd be no highlights for
because
domestic TV.
They'll be sold off to someone else.
Yeah. There'll be no. You'll have to watch it on a streaming service to watch highlights.
Yeah, I'm surprised. It's one of the few things that BBC still hold on to no matter what. Obviously, they lost it to. Remember, it was Premiership for those years, wasn't it? It was Match of the Day for ages, and then it was Premiership on ITV, and then it came back to Match of the Day again.
Match of the Day did go away from it, didn't it?
Because it used to be
from like
Beautiful Day by
2001.
U2 as the theme tune, didn't it? But I reckon at some point that contract is going to get too expensive for the BBC because they aren't increasing the licence fee enough to keep up with how fast football
There's
is
no
expanding.
Champions League highlights on normal TV, terrestrial TV
You
anyway.
can't watch Champions League on TV without BT now, can you?
No.
No,
It used to be
but
ITV,
like
didn't
you
it?
say, it used to be
The
ITV.
final is.
You could,
The final is.
Remember, it was ITV.
fine. You could always on a
Oh, remember when we were good?
match, having a match, and then getting the highlights later. But eventually, like I say, even Match of the Day will disappear off the TV screens, and you got reruns of Porridge on a Saturday night.
Oh God! What,
Which
we're going
ain't
to sit
bad.
down to watch at 10:30 after the news?
I know, it's a shame, isn't it? And the streaming thing, how good did that seem at the start? Netflix, all the best films on one thing. Now that's getting splintered, and it's just becoming like TV channels, but
Streaming
on internet.
services, yeah.
It's just the same. You're paying £7 a month for 10 different things with Disney Plus, Apple Plus, Netflix, Amazon Prime. Like eventually, it's just going to be the same as telly, but all on.
I did
online.
like the Amazon Prime idea with the 2 trial runs they did.
Someone just mentioned that.
Yeah.
John in the comments has just mentioned Amazon. Amazon kills them. You're right.
I liked Amazon.
Amazon. I thought the coverage was really good. I thought they tried to be a bit artsy with the previews, where they had like I'm going to call it pervert cam, because it seems to be like a guy sneaking around corners, looking at the like they had them all stood up in like a warehouse for some reason as they was doing the previews. The content of what they were saying was really good.
Those boys in a warehouse.
The flow of the conversation was nice, and it was almost podcasty sort of style. Danny Higginbottom was involved in them, and I think Robbie Savage might have been involved in them. And actually, the conversations was great to listen to, but the way they'd shot them was a bit strange.
I don't really mind. I don't really watch
Also,
a lot
they're
of
not going to be able
preview
to
stuff.
afford that. They had every single game on for 2 match days. So what's that? Like 1,000 games?
Why were they able to break the 3 o'clock curfew as well?
Were they?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was Boxing Day. It's different, isn't it?
Still, he's got a point, no, but
It must not have been a Saturday.
It's an exception because it's a Christmas
It
event.
wasn't Saturday. It was Sunday.
Still 3 o'clock kickoff.
I thought it was just Saturdays.
Well, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Either way.
I'm sure they haven't
It was still
changed the rules
8,
for it.
and Joe,
But they're not going to be able to. They can't. I mean, despite them being a bigger brand than Sky, I can't see them nicking every match off Sky. And if it does, if you don't think your Amazon Prime membership ain't going up by at least 15 quid a month,
I remember when the Premier League.
No
Well,
chance.
yeah, but what sort of dent does 5 billion make on Amazon?
Yeah,
Did they even notice that?
What's his name? He
They're
earns
not
that
doing
like
it for-
2 minutes, Bezos.
But they're
doesn't
not
he?
doing it to be nice to us. They need to make money on that.
Of course they are, yeah.
So, I mean, I'm sure it'd give everyone to get Amazon
Yeah, but
Prime.
you think how much? What's your Sky? I mean, I'm not going to include myself in this. I pay a bastard fortune.
Well, it's like 75, 80 quid for Sky Sports.
Right, I have
with
my
like a Sky package. Say 80 quid.
I have my internet through them, and I have every channel, movies, kids shit, MUTV, the lot. I have it all, right?
Jesus.
And it comes to like
Nice
120
Sky
quid
flex.
a month, right?
Joke.
So got you over a barrel, mate.
But what is it realistically? Is
It's
it
like 80
50,
quid.
60 quid?
No, it's more than that because we used to pay 50. No, we used to pay 65 quid for Sky and we didn't have sports. It's like 80 quid.
Right.
sports?
So the sports,
Fucking hell.
technically, the sports
If you're getting
part.
like internet and Sky Sports, it's 80 quid-ish.
All right, yeah, but if you just wanted the TV. So what I'm trying to do is trying to see what proportion of each subscriber is the
You could get
subscription
You could
revenue.
get a basic package with the Sky One and all that. I've seen that. I've inquired about it, and you get the Premier League for about up to 40 quid.
Right, so 40 quid. What percentage of that 40 quid do we reckon goes to Sky Sports?
I don't know.
Because they're
Probably
gonna
15
obviously-
at least.
Do you
Because
reckon
that's
it's
what they're
that high?
spending the most money on, yeah.
I think it's more like 10 out of that.
Okay.
Because I think you've got your engineers, you've got all of the rest of the channels that they subsidise and all that sort of stuff. I reckon only about 10 of that a month is going. So it's what, £100 a year? How many people in the UK do you reckon have got the sports package?
I'd say.
I reckon it's only like 1 million.
Yeah.
I'd say it's a bit more.
I'd say maybe
Sure.
2
You
million.
can't get the sports package on its own.
Well,
No.
you know, like
You have to get it as part of everything.
Which is
you know, like the Champions League fixtures on Sky get at most 300,000-400,000 views.
Do they even have
On BT?
On BT?
No, when they were used to.
Oh,
on
they
Sky.
used to be. on Sky.
It was a few years ago.
I think Liverpool United Carragher tweeted that it peaked at something like 3.9 million.
That was on United Liverpool, wasn't it?
So-
Yeah, so there must be, let's say, 10 million homes with Sky Sports.
I wouldn't say.
My dad's got it.
You think more than, but otherwise you're looking at more than half of the homes that had Sky Sports in.
I wouldn't say it's 10 million of Sky Sports.
You think it's less?
I think it's less. I think it'd be.
So you think
like
more than half of the homes that have Sky Sports watch that United Liverpool game?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Nah.
Do you not think?
No chance.
Do you not think?
No, because most people aren't.
I'm just googling it here now. I don't know what that
I would
says.
say if they can get 4 million views on a Sky Sports subscription, they must have at least 10 million subscribers. No, there's never a time when like 50% of a market is watching one channel.
No.
Unless it's like the finale of MASH.
Which is.
Or The Walking Dead.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Is The Walking Dead still going?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's going to be another season.
Yeah.
Can't actually find
off it
what,
after season
what we're
three.
It's
saying.
literally the
Yeah.
Walking Dead of
It
a
was
show
for
now
me.
as well, isn't it?
Or even any of the cast still alive?
Oh yeah, Barb's got it. This is November last year, so this
There's
should have
movies
it.
coming out as well.
Oh, for
Walking
God's
Dead
sake.
movies.
Sky.
Ricky's still alive.
8.5 million have Sky, but that doesn't say how many have Sky Sports. What percentage of people with Sky do you think have Sky Sports?
I'd say
Half?
70.
I would say the old people, maybe.
Yeah, that's true,
The older,
actually.
like, some of them like a laughing and that, but they won't have a sports and a movies.
Yeah,
But also, that doesn't mean you can get Sky Sports through BT.
Can you?
Yeah.
And you can get BT through Sky Sports.
Yeah,
as
so
well.
we don't know how many
Is
people
it
were
the
watching
same
Sky
price, the same
Sports.
way, or is it cheaper?
It's about the same.
BT is 1 million.
Yeah. So let's say
You got Virgin as well, haven't you?
Yeah.
2 million. 2 million. Well, they're all falling actually.
yeah.
Apart from that one. What's that?
There's definitely a gap in the
Terrestrial.
market there for a big
Anyway.
dirty streaming service. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
Vinny Searles onto it. We may or may not have one of them on that telly over there.
Big streaming service.
Yeah, that sounds a bit.
That's what you should call it.
Not that type of streaming
The big
service, but
dirty streaming service proudly brings you the Premier League.
remember when pubs used to have them like imported streams, and they were like kind of legal for a while, and then loads of pubs just
like
getting
dodgy
shut down
boxes.
about. Yeah.
No,
Like
they-
having
like, they
they're
got
very
away
much
with it.
not legal,
Ukrainian
I don't
streams.
In
They used to be. Or there didn't used to be laws about it.
Oh, fair.
Yeah, they closed a load of loopholes about
Yeah.
it, but there's still some that'll still fight it by having. There's always Greek satellite and stuff, wasn't it?
I remember one in Portsmouth. She was actually fighting the courts and all that.
Yeah, yeah.
There was a few years ago to show live games, and she got threatened. She was showing a Portsmouth Southampton game, I think, or something, and they actually got pulled and taken to court and all that.
Yeah.
There's a couple got away with it, and there's loads got.
I watch. I watch it on my phone.
Yeah.
I get the streams on my phone. I know where to go, where to link, and I can't afford Sky, but I'll watch the games.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it?
I
I mean,
it's a crazy old one, isn't it?
yeah, it's so expensive. I mean, it has to be though, doesn't it? Like we said, look how much they're paying for it, and there aren't that many people with it, so they're spending billions on it a year,
Trying to stop people
and
watching
there's
it
only,
other ways.
Let's say 10 million at most, probably less than 10 million people with Sky Sports. Like, divide that in, like 1 billion into 10 million. That's a fuckload of money that they're trying to make up there, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's what I mean. I don't. Now, obviously, there's a huge
adverts
amount of
and
ad revenue
sponsorship
comes
and
into
shit,
that.
yeah.
If you want an advert on Sky Sports at half time of a football match, you're going to get ruined.
Yeah.
But like,
So that's how they make it back and stuff. But
oh yeah,
still,
it's not me, you, and him having
No.
having the Sky Sports
it's
package.
Yeah, it's Nissan at half time.
Yeah. I mean, I would imagine what you're paying for the Sky Sports package probably just covers like the engineers they've
Yeah,
got.
running costs.
I mean, look at Ford. Since the induction of the Premier League, since the first game, which was Nottingham Forest v Liverpool in '92, Ford have been there since day one.
Super Sundays and that.
How much have they pumped in?
Must be billions.
Yeah, it must be billions. And how many people are sitting there
hundreds of
watching
millions.
United get fucking pumped and gone, I need a Fiesta.
Yeah, I love that. Love the Fiesta right now.
Oh, it's Renault now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Ford.
Renault. It's not Ford anymore.
I still
It's
call
gone.
it Ford though, but that just shows good marketing.
Yeah, it's like it's Renault now, isn't it? Yeah,
It was
it's it.
Ford Super Sunday.
The Renault Super doesn't have the same range. Does it?
Ford Monday Night Football, yeah, but it's Renault now with Thierry Henry driving a Clio, isn't it?
I know exactly who was driving that Clio, and it wasn't Terry Henry.
No.
That was my mate.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
He's a
Learn
stunt,
something new.
stunt driver.
A stunt driver for
Looks
Renault.
fuck all like Terry Henry.
I'm
Yeah,
sure
but
I paid
Thierry
well,
Henry putting on leather gloves like he's a bank robber. Ready to drive off.
Give us some questions. Where does it end with the Glazers? Because 4 billion, as we've just seen, trying to figure out how much Sky are trying to even earn off Sky Sports. How do you even get 4 billion?
It just ends when they want to sell.
A big sugar daddy.
Yeah.
If they want to sell.
If they want to sell, when they want to sell. Like, they could have sold at any time. The value of the club's still going up. The share price went from 15 quid to 20 quid since October. Like,
That's all they care about.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, look, it only also fight can make money. It's just a name. If you're not successful on the pitch, and
well, eventually,
down the road and across the city, they're catching up with us, and it's going to impact your revenue. And the more you don't get Champions League football, it's going to hit you in the pocket there. And who has to pay? Us.
But if you look, though, every single club in the Premier League, their value has gone up. So it's not just United. Like, if you sit on an asset like United, and as we see, the TV revenue keeps going up, the viewers around the world keep
Our
going
revenue
up,
doubled when everyone else's went up by 4 times.
Yeah.
So don't tell me they're good businessmen.
Well, I'm not saying they're good businessmen,
No, I'm
but
just
the
saying, a
revenue,
lot of people
yeah,
do.
I'm not saying,
well,
like
the
I said-
value of the club is going up.
I don't doubt they're great businessmen, but
basically like-
sod all about football.
Yeah. It's basically like owning property.
I remember, was it reading somewhere
safe bet.
they put a block on Martial's transfer when Mourinho wanted him gone because they love him, something about football. You don't like
Sell
that.
shirts, that's probably
You don't know anything about football. Was it Avram? I used to watch United in the 80s when I was in college and
So
have
bought
a
Chelsea.
passion with him. What a crock of shit.
Yeah, it's just the club is worth 5.4 billion now. Well, exactly. So there's only 6 people in the world who can afford it. The Glazers obviously don't want to sell. And also, what you'll see as well is when they do sell United, they won't use the money they made from United to get rid of all that other billions of debt that they owe. Because they, like I said, they want that debt. They will keep that.
In 15 years, how many times have you seen them give an interview? Twice.
I can't even think of that.
There's an expo in Saudi Arabia. I actually seen it on YouTube. They were talking. It was like to maybe promote the club. Actually, one of the Glazers was talking, and I think when they first bought the club in 2005, I don't know which Glazer it was.
They keep quiet, don't they?
Yeah, but 2 interviews in 15 years, that is fucking tragic. That is fucking disgusting. They have an obligation.
You got two extremes, haven't you? You've got your Mike Ashley, who's like in the crowd all the time, and that's annoying.
Yeah.
Or you've got the just like, did he even exist? We don't even know if they exist.
But you tell me, but Abramovich still has that club at heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, he actually cares. He has an obligation to the club. He has an obligation to the fans. But these Yankee whatnots don't. I could have said something else then.
Yeah,
I refrained.
It doesn't seem like they're particularly bothered, other than as a club, do they? And if you look at it from an investment perspective, what an investment they made there. Like, obviously, they spent loads, got loads in debt, but just almost worth 10 times now what they bought it for.
It should have been illegal, though.
No, but it's dodgy.
I'm not saying I like it. I'm just mean from their perspective, they will have been so happy with that.
Not even Del Boy, not even Del Boy would endorse it.
Fans don't care about the crap you're talking about. Well, they do and they should. Let's be honest with you. They do and they should.
They have a right. They have an obligation to the performances on the pitch. They have an obligation to the fans.
Definitely.
But they're not taking them obligations seriously.
Football clubs should not be treated the same way that other businesses like corner shops are treated, or shopping malls are treated. If Tesco starts being a twat, you go Sainsbury's, right? Yeah. No one's like, I'm fucking shopping at Tesco because my dad shopped at Tesco and his dad shopped at Tesco and I'm fucking Tesco till I die. That ain't, and no one's saying shit like that.
Not really.
But be good on a shirt, though.
Yeah, football clubs are fucking different. Football clubs mean more. They're romantic. Yeah. They're silly. They're
nostalgic.
They're everything. They're escapism. And there's no other. I mean, I don't like calling it entertainment, but fundamentally it is. There's no other form of entertainment. Whether you like Mike Tyson growing up or Roy Jones Jr. No one ever passes that on to their sons.
And it's not like
like I say, me and Stephen come from a generation. It's been passed down to us by our dads.
Yeah, and no one's like, I only go and watch Robert De Niro films. And if I go and watch another film and another superhero wins, I don't cheer.
Yeah,
because if it's not Robert De Niro winning, if Superman wins a fight, I don't cheer because it's not Robert De Niro.
I did cheer at cheer at Avengers Endgame. No, Captain America going out. Come on!
Crazy Monkey in the comments says Aldi till I die.
I like Aldi.
Little for me,
but I'll go little if it's open. Yeah,
Team Little.
You know what I mean? No one's asked about it.
Every little helps.
You went fucking Sainsbury's on the way home. Sound. But like, imagine just saying, I'm going to watch Liverpool this week and hope they win.
Whoa.
It just doesn't compute, does it?
It's not the same thing.
Nothing about following a sports team is fucking rational. So you can't apply any sort of other logic to it. Do you know any of them 11 lads that are on the pitch? Nah.
No.
But you can relate to the shirt they wear.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. But that's all it takes. Yeah,
it is mad.
Like, what if I'm Dolce & Gabbana till I die? You know what I mean? What's the difference? You, Calvin Klein, we'll be better have a fight now, aren't we?
Oh yeah.
I support a different
ECK won this one.
Yeah. I support a different Italian T-shirt manufacturer. Like, can you imagine? Like, there's no logic that you can apply to any other fucking...
He's Versace, this one.
Levi's usually, to be honest.
I'm Primark.
Yeah, it's absolutely mad. What's this one? I'm not even trying to... Zeng, we'll say. Curious to know, with Fergie and Sir Bobby, still closing around the board, are they actually okay with our football and lack of investments thus far? And what have they done about it? Any clue? I've only heard rumours. I don't know how true these are, but there's been like raging rows in the boardroom and around the director's box and stuff like that at football matches, and
you can tell he's probably privately something nasty's been said.
Yeah, there's no way he wouldn't say
indoors. Privately, they must have talked Bobby Charlton and Ferguson and said snide comments behind Woodward's back, or even said it to his face. But Woodward can't say anything back because you're challenging.
Yeah, but I do believe part of the reason that we saw Pogba brought back was to wrestle some power back from Sir Alex in the dressing room, in the boardroom. When Sir Alex tries to tell Woodward here's what's happening, and he's like, you just fucking cost us 90 million. I had to bring that lad back. Now, you can agree or disagree on that. I'm just saying what I think is probably an argument. You see that Woodward's the highest paid CEO in football. I mean, is he worth that?
With zero capability of football?
None of that makes sense, because I know United have got the most fans, but we don't make the most money. We don't make...
Not anymore.
We don't win the most, obviously. What metric does he deserve to be the highest paid... anything? Doesn't make sense, does it?
It doesn't make sense.
No.
It's so depressing, it's making me sick, says David. And that's it, yeah. It can actually, affect everybody's mood and really badly.
Yeah. I mean,
this podcast would be different if we'd have won the last 3 games.
Yeah, but last night there was a sort of we say with the fog as well. There was
gloom.
There was a bad taste in the air. There was a bad atmosphere. And it was like coming down. You could see it. This is gonna go.
Didn't feel right, did it, from the start?
I mean, I might do a birthday request for the next home game.
Get your name on it. And
Britney Spears Toxic.
Is it still that same?
You know what I mean? Could I get that?
I like how it's been that same name, little party hat thing next to whose birthday it is every game for the last at least 15 years, isn't it? That same little graphic that pops up before the games when it's someone's birthday.
When's your birthday?
24th of July. And
you've never
end
had
of
it?
Season. No, I've never had it.
Yeah, Jaden's is 7th of July. And
Don't get it.
He's never going to have that. Because
have you had it?
No. Well, I've never had it. I don't think it's been in a programme or anything.
I don't think they shout my name on for the birthday mention.
I had it in the paper when I was 18.
Lenny says, do I think Ollie will throw away his legacy with the team as a player and his integrity to protect Woodward? I don't think he is. I think you've got to really listen to the quotes that he came out with last night. That was almost him with a fucking banner above his head going, get me some fucking players now.
This team's shit, I need help.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to see him turn round and just go like that. Come out. I've had enough. You know what? Stick your job, Woodward. Forget your money. If he said what he said and said it in front of the cameras, this club is going nowhere. This club is going. We are back to front, upside down. He'd walk out a legend.
He would.
He will walk out a legend. Then the panic sets in.
Yeah.
The panic is real. Then the Glazers will get more heat than ever, and Woodward he'll be out on his arse as well.
I hope if they sack him, he comes out and really goes, this is the script. This is why.
Will they ever sack him, though? Do you mean Ollie or do you mean Ed?
Ed's not getting sacked.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Is he not?
No,
Do you think they're really that happy with him?
He brokered the deal to bring them to the club.
Yeah, but thing is, he has zero tolerance of football, zero knowledge. What does he know about an offside rule?
He probably knows the offside rule.
He did fuck off. Fucking born with a silver spoon in his mouth.
Ultimately,
he's a rugby fan.
Yeah.
Where was it? When we lost to Bournemouth, where was he? On the other side of the fucking world watching England. I'm not disputing England. That's fair enough. It's your country. But where the fuck was he?
But does he need to be there? You were saying this earlier, weren't you?
Yeah.
Why is he even going to games at the moment anyway? Haven't you got shit to do?
He wasn't even there last night.
Exactly. And I hope he wasn't there because he was trying to fucking get transfers over the line. And if he ever came out and was like, yeah, I ain't gone to a game in 6 weeks because I've been doing this, that and the other, and I'd be like, good. Yeah. That's what you're supposed to do.
He needs to be. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff he needs to do. Obviously, if he can watch a match, he can watch a match. But if he can't, you think, yeah, just go. We need. Like I said, we need players. We need signings. Why? I know not many teams sign players in January for whatever reason, but why does it seem so fucking hard to get people signed? Is it just a lack of contacts, a lack of respect, or what? Why is it so difficult?
It's a lack of fucking brains from him, and it's a lack of. He wants to save money. Look, I'm going to say, he won't pay this extra couple of million to get Fernandes, yet we're willing to spend £30 million on a 16-year-old from Birmingham, which I don't doubt he's good. I don't doubt he's good at all. I don't doubt that at all. But what? There's your extra. Just go and get it. If you want Champions League football next season, it could be the difference in Europa League.
Yeah, easily.
It could easily take us to the Europa League. Might not do anything in the league, but I tell you what, it could be the difference. And the irony is, we could end up playing Sporting along the way.
Have they already played in the? Can he play for us in the Europa League?
There's no cup ties no more.
Oh, is there no cup ties in the
So
Europa
he's not
League?
cup side, so he can play. The irony of it, you know.
Yeah.
Just I don't know what the reason is. And I spoke to people around the club and said, they always say it's hard to get stuff done in January, and I go, is it though?
Bullshit.
It's hard to get stuff done in the summer. Look at this summer, you got a Euros coming up, right? And pre-season's fucking immediately after it.
Yeah.
How's that easy to get stuff done in?
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's because teams just don't let players go in January because they're down.
Yeah, but teams, if pick a club,
Villa,
right? Hiya, good odds. Can I have Jack Grealish? What would you say?
No,
right.
You can't.
Are you saying that in January or are you saying that in summer?
I'm saying no in January, maybe in summer.
Why?
Because
why do you want to let Jack Grealish go?
In the summer?
Yeah.
Because we want to keep him at the club now so we can stay up and then have a bit of time to plan ahead for the summer when we have a bit more time to get a deal in, is what my thinking would be if I was running Aston Villa.
Fundamentally, you don't want to let Jack Grealish go?
No, but for the right price, you probably would.
Right, which is everybody, right? So if I just put enough shekels on the table for you, you're letting him go on fucking December 31st.
Well, then it comes down to, well, what's worth more money? You know, do you keep Jack Grealish and then try stay up, or do you take the money?
Yeah, or
50 million, because it probably would be more money in January because it's, you know,
panic time. All right, okay. So if I ring you up on the last day of the January transfer window, what's your price for Jack Grealish?
I'll say I'm not going to take less than 60 million for Jack Grealish.
Okay. Now I ring you up on the last day of the summer window. What's your price for Jack Grealish?
I would say,
because the situation's the fucking same. You're losing a player, ain't replacing.
It's probably the same, but at least in the summer you would be more likely to let a player go because you know it's not in the middle of a season where
you have to let him go early, because if you want that money to prepare your squad,
I don't think it's any different, Ciaran.
But you know what I mean? If you let him go early,
I know what you mean. Like also the window's just open for longer, which makes more things
but
be
if
able
it
to
came
happen.
in last minute, right? So you've planned your season that you're about to start with Jack Grealish, right? Just the same way as in January you're planning that
the
you'll
last
have
day of a window is different. Like if you're on the last day of either window, it's going to be the same.
This is what I'm saying. So what's the fucking difference? For me, there's no difference. Now, if I phoned you up the second week in September and say, Aston Villa, look, I know that's not ideal for you, but we'd like to take Grealish in January. You've now got 3 months to go and sort that shit out, which might be more than you even get in the summer. So then you can get on your toes and start looking around, and who can you bring in to replace him? And then you probably bring me back in October and go, right, we've got our eyes on a couple of targets. What sort of dough are we talking? I say, give you 65. You go fuck a duck, talk 72 and a half, and we'll.
Are there many clubs inquiring about players though? And like October, I know you're just
Inter Milan and AC Milan, respectively, I bought 3 players so far each, and people, and they're United saying you can't get deals, you can't get deals done. What load of crap. Look at Real Madrid, 5 in the summer. So don't tell me it's
5 in fucking May.
Yeah, not 5. So don't tell me they're just hiding behind excuses.
No, I'm not saying it's acceptable or anything like that, but I mean, I'm just comparing the two.
What did City do with Guardiola? He came in his first season, finished 4th, right? Bang, bang, bang. He got 4 in.
Oh yeah, you need to get 5 bodies in. I'm not saying you need to get bodies in or anything like that.
Following season, title.
Yeah, obviously, there's no doubt the bodies need to be brought in, even at this point, no matter how well they're good. I mentioned on the Devils podcast as well that Jay asked us, do you think any signings will be made? I think there will be a signing, but I've got a horrible feeling it'll be a signing just to shut everyone up that it's a body through the door. It could, I mean, it could well be Bruno Fernandes. I'd honestly still be surprised if that doesn't somehow get over the line.
Yeah, it seems like both clubs want it to happen.
I think it will.
So why would it not happen?
He's got a new PR guy in him, hasn't he? So
Fernandes?
Ed Woodward. He's got somebody from the Sun. He's going to spin all this bullshit from now till the end of the window. He's just going to spin it just to appease us. I won't be surprised if all these stories are invented since the City game just to appease the fans. Because the backlash after that City game was horrendous.
It's going to be bad on Wednesday because we're going to get pumped.
Oh yeah, let's face realistic. It's illogical, as Spot would say. We ain't getting fucking jack shit from that game.
No. I suppose no one expects us to, but yeah, if we get beat 4-0 at the Etihad,
it could be a scapegoat come Thursday morning, and you don't want to think of that happening.
No.
You can't say they've not done it before though, because they have
done it twice. Well, I suppose Van Gaal was
after the Liverpool game,
dead man walking
last year.
He won the FA Cup and still got sacked. But yeah,
you see the face on Woodward after the Liverpool game in the crowd with Bobby Charlton.
Do you know what? I was thinking the other day of that Tifo video's come out and it's sensible transfers, and I was thinking who was I walking down the street with? Might have been Mitz actually, and we was talking about how Dortmund have managed to pull in Haaland and Sancho for 30 million.
Just got
Haaland and
Scanless.
Yeah, no, that's it. It's scouting, and that Minamoto that Liverpool have signed might be good, might be shit, but they pulled him in for what was it, 15 million?
7.5 million, yeah.
K&L.
Yeah.
So we paid more than that to Raiola.
Yeah, Sporting Lisbon.
If we bring in well scouted players like that, they're out there. Now I know that there's a different price when United ring up. I do know that that's a thing, but someone mentioned something like Liverpool are going for some fucking wonder kid, right? And they're going to pay $1.5 million for him from the Championship, some teenage wonder kid in the Championship. We got to the Championship for a teenage wonder kid. It's 30 million. Yeah, but and you're like, well, hang on.
Jude Bellingham earns only like 140 quid a week because he's still on like scholarship wages, and yet we're putting in a 30 million bid for him. Like, you don't need to go to footballing agency school to realise that makes absolutely no fucking sense whatsoever.
Not only that, mate, we've got Hannibal Mabry, we've got Levitt, we've got Garner, we've got Galbraith. There's 14, and throw Gomez in, fuck it. There's 5 teenage midfielders at the club that aren't all going to make it. Yeah. Why throw another one you just spent 30 million on? Is he better than all of them? I haven't seen enough of him to know for sure. But Why are we fucking about with a 16-year-old? United need... I know we're planning for the future in certain aspects, but there has to be a fine balancing act here, because you can't just plan for the future and give all these lads a run out because we're in the Championship in 2 years. You have to plan for the future and remain competitive at the same time, and that's the hardest thing for us to do, is to go through this transition and make sure that we're actually fucking competitive at the same time. And I don't think buying 16-year-olds does
you can't free fall all the way. You got to have some sort of fight in you.
Be fun.
Even I know, but you still got to be competitive for the sake of the fans as well. You can't just say, "Oh, this is down." Look at Stockport County. They drifted out of the league and they've only just found themselves and back up.
What level do you sorry, go on.
They're only just back at that. The one from the one from the Football League. They went down like in, what was it, 2000 and I can't remember, 2005 maybe 2006. They've been in the doldrums for years, and they've only just now over the last 2 years found their feet.
Like the video if you're fucking depressed.
Yeah. How far do you think United have to fall before Glazers were like, fuck this, we're going? If we got relegated, do you think they'd leave?
Yeah.
That's a bit.
I think even a bottom half finish, to be honest.
Bottom 6.
Yeah, if we had a relegation
with this squad now and the injuries, I can't see us maintaining even 5th place.
No. Well, we're 4 points off 5 points off 4 points off 14th. We're on 34. They're on 30.
We're closer to that than 5th.
We're 6 points off 5th.
6 points off Chelsea. 4 points off Bournemouth and Burnley.
Look.
So if we have 2 bad weeks, we might be 14.
I mean, look, we got Tranmere, we got City, we got Wolves, and there's a 2-week break. And are they going to pin everything?
I actually can't fucking wait for that.
We could easily be 10th after the Wolves game.
If Wolves win tonight,
they'll go above us if they beat us.
If Wolves win tonight, it's a very big if.
Who've they got?
Liverpool. And they've got an axe to grind.
Do you know what? I do think Liverpool are going to lose eventually this season. Obviously, it's not going to be us. We've already played them, but I do think they'll lose eventually. But fuck me,
they have to. They can't keep winning. They can't do the treble unbeaten and not lose a game in either competition. Or they have lost to Napoli this season. Actually,
and Napoli are crap.
And Aston Villa.
Or did they lose to Villa?
5-0.
Oh, they did.
Yeah. It was the kids.
It's all coming up, Miller.
It was the kids. Like, well, it doesn't count.
It's all coming up. They
you know what I mean?
Lost 2 games.
Oh, I'm fucking depressed.
Send some players off. Fuck off.
Give me 20 minutes. I'll do a job.
But you just think it's like, we've all played Footy Manager. We're all absolute experts in this field. So, like, how hard can it actually fucking be? How hard can it be to find some competent fucking people? Do you know what? We've done a couple of videos on sporting directors and people like that, and I've really fucking enjoyed looking into it. We're linked with this fella now, aren't we, from Lille?
Samari.
Who's had a decent... No, the sporting director.
Oh, sorry.
Campos, it's Louis Campos. But you look at the careers that likes of him and that Mitchell has had. Like, Mitchell's... I want to call him Phil. Paul Mitchell.
Same kind of thing.
It's the other brother. The career that he's had and the success that he's had, a lot of Pochettino's success could well be attributed to the recruitment and the running of a football club that Paul Mitchell's got. I'm actually fucking trying to get in touch with him to try and get a sit down, because he is number one behind like Fergie and Eric and stuff in terms of the people I really want to fucking talk to. Mitchell's very, very high on my list. You look at what he did at MK Dons, then he went to Southampton. Now you look at Pochettino did great at Southampton, didn't he? Right? Do you see the team he had?
Yeah.
The fucking the fucking team that they had is one of the reasons why they were so succeful. And then when all them players got sold and they dropped down, you're like,
great team. Luke Shaw, Lallana, Lambert,
Bale. Bale was it Bale?
It was way before that. Way before that. But then obviously he went to Tottenham. He was involved in a lot of the signings at Tottenham. Then he's now at Leipzig, and he's been involved with some of there. Leipzig
there as well. Then Mane was there as well. Then wasn't
Mane was at Salzburg.
He came after that.
Yeah. I don't think Mane was one of Mitchell's.
Is the club he's at doing well? Like
Leipzig?
No, but I'm talking this director of football. United being linked with
Leipzig.
Yeah. What?
Oh no, Lille.
Yeah.
It's French league, innit, and they're not a big fish, but they've uncovered some belting players. Like, was it Pepe that's just gone to Arsenal? Yeah. Obviously, he was one of his that he brought through, I think. So
just got Renato Sanchez in over the summer as well. Don't know how he's been doing, but
he's had more fucking clubs than Tiger Woods. Him and all.
He's not done very well.
I've said this, right?
I feel bad for him.
I've said this. Liverpool City sporting director. I don't know the names. You don't hear about him.
No. Ed Woodward's famous.
And all because he wants to be everything.
Cities is Soriano.
Look, this director of football.
I actually didn't know that.
This director of football will never happen. This director of football will never happen. It's just somebody another one to appease the fans.
To be fair, Andy Mitten made a point on Sky Sports earlier that I hadn't considered before, and he said that Solskjaer doesn't want a director of football either, which is something I just assumed that he either A, didn't have a choice in the matter, or B, wanted one because we want one. But maybe he doesn't want one and he's fighting against it as well. Do you think there's a chance of that?
Yeah, and there's also
Mourinho didn't want one either.
Yeah, well, he said Mourinho didn't want one and Solskjaer doesn't want one.
I did hear a little bit on the thingy that Ollie actually wanted Mike Phelan to do that role, and maybe Mike Phelan, maybe because they don't want to completely change and pigeonhole whatever it is that Phelan is doing. Maybe they actually want Mike Phelan to just take a lot of the responsibilities of that recruitment and searching away from Ollie, and maybe that's what he's doing, because he's actually misses quite a lot of games.
I was going to say this is a bit of a guess, but is he already kind of doing that job? Do you think?
Yeah, I think he's sort of doing that, because he's probably been at half the game, 60% of the games.
And he's always at other teams' games. He's the sort of line of defence before Solskjaer in terms of going to scout someone, isn't it? You see him at sporting games, or you see him in France and
was
stuff.
sort of getting the word on how transfers sort of happen at United, and obviously there's the analysis department, the scouting department, and it was very much the coaching department name dropped Mike and Ollie.
Yeah,
Mike and Ollie is who those decisions go to, and then all of those have to agree. And then they take their recommendations to Woodward and Judge, and then they go and try and do the financial side of stuff. No, obviously, if you go, I think that Mbappe's pretty good.
Yeah.
And you go, do you?
Well, that's the thing as well, isn't it? Like, the scouting, obviously, you want to get players like, I mean, Haaland, fair play to Dortmund for getting the deal done, but it wasn't great. It wasn't necessarily great scouting. Sancho was great scouting. That was like a lad who obviously had a lot of potential, but they brought him in and he's been world class since he's been there. But at United, there are only in the world maybe 150 players that can improve Man United, or even say it's 300. Do you know what I mean? There aren't that many players in the world that improve Man United. So this 802 right backs, I know we've sort of debunked that slightly by that's just the number on the database.
Yeah.
But there aren't that many people you can scout.
They only start looking at somewhere in the region of 30 and 40.
Yeah, of course. But there's not that many players in the world that make Man United a much better team, because we are, despite that we're not where we want to be, we're still pretty good. Like,
you kidding?
What?
We are in fifth. We are in fifth.
If you put us in any league in the world, we'd be fighting for the championship in France. Maybe not behind PSG, but we'd be just behind them. We'd probably be around sort of toward the top of Bundesliga. We'd struggle in Serie A, but you look at like the team Inter Milan are building. Is our team much worse than theirs? Like, really? Player for player? I mean, the Premier League's a really difficult league and we're doing poorly in that. But there aren't that many teams in the world better than us. Do you think there are? Do you think there's dozens of teams better than United?
I think Atletico Madrid are better than us.
Yeah, I think they are. I think there's 2 or 3 in each league, but that's about it.
We are still
an
an elite team. We're just the worst we've seen us for a generation.
Yeah,
or more.
It just seems but we are just a big team in name only at the moment. This is like
We've still got some belting players.
I think we'd still get Champions League if we're in Italy.
Look at the 80s. We still had, going through the 80s. We had Whiteside, we had Robson, Gordon Strachan, Peter Davenport, Paul Ince, Gary Pallister. They were still big names. This is just getting the feeling like the 80s again.
Yeah.
And it's not right.
No.
Because we have been treated, that we've been spoiled. Me and Howson, we saw Fergie at the start. I stood on the Stretford end, 15 years old, against Crystal Palace, shouting Fergie out, and I'll admit that. But it's a spoiled generation. But over the last 25 years, it's been set, the standard of the club, and now the standard of the club has gone backwards in the last 7 years. Like I said, even if you're not bleeding winning it, challenge for it. And we've not challenged. We've not challenged for. Well, we did it for 3 months. And fell away.
What, last season?
With City, yeah. 4-0 FC.
But that wasn't a title challenge.
I know. But we've not done it since 2013.
Yeah. No.
All you got to do is challenge, man. I'd be happy with challenging, even if...
Oh, yeah.
Because you get in there, and sooner or later you're going to get through the door and get the golden ticket.
Unless you're Tottenham, where you challenge for 3 years and then fall away. But you'd still take a title challenge, wouldn't you?
Yeah, of course.
Obviously. But yeah, it's...
Oh, we missed out 2 games to go. I'll be like, fair enough, let's go again next season.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Imagine liking football.
Should we call it a day there, lads?
Yeah.
A good thing to end it on there. Wishing for a title challenge.
What's coming out tomorrow, Joe?
What's coming out tomorrow? Great question.
A rash.
A few things we've got coming out tomorrow. Would you like to say, Stig, in case someone's forgot?
I don't know. Who's on the news tomorrow?
On the news tomorrow morning, probably me. That'll be me.
What else is coming tomorrow then?
We've got... What day is it tomorrow?
Friday.
We've got Late Night Live coming tomorrow night. We should have... I think that's it, maybe. Maybe something else? What else we got?
Some transfer news, fingers crossed.
Please.
Oh, transfer review.
Oh, the transfer review, of course. Stephen's transfer review.
I actually forgot.
I forgot. We both forgot. Hospital pass. So we've got the transfer review, we've got team news, and we've got my Late Night Live show as well at 10 o'clock.
We've got a new show on my channel.
We've got a new show. Is that out now or is it not out yet?
By the looks of Will's face, I'm going to say no.
Yeah, we've got a new show coming out on Steve's channel.
Where's everyone else gone?
Gone home.
There was 10 people in this studio before.
Yeah, it's not...
There's just Will with a very feminine leg crossing going on.
I like it.
And Adam on the 1s and 2s.
Shades of Basic Instinct.
Yeah, I don't know where everyone else is from.
Oh, God, no.
They've probably gone for a second lunch, knowing them. Absolute hobbits.
Anyway, so there's a show on my channel later called The Fixture List, which is me and Joe looking at...
We're learning about new sports, aren't we, as well?
I'm learning about new sports.
I can't. I hope one day we get to do like lacrosse and like
snooker,
bull dancing and that.
I want to do that bowls after what I used to do the other day. That was
incredible.
Outrageously
Some of the greatest ball work I've seen since Maradona.
Yeah, man. All right. Anyway, we are done, but make sure to check that out on my channel. Probably about 8-9 o'clock tonight, I would think. See you in a bizzle.
Bye.